Howdy folks, and welcome to Cast Iron Cooking, and I'm your host, Belkin Vanderspuds. And today we're going to make a sausage egg biscuits, and we're going to do it with a cast iron pan using the ingredients that you see above. The ingredients are pretty common. You'll find them in a lot of places. This is a cookie cutter that we're actually going to make the biscuit or the egg rounds with. These are biscuits we made in a previous video and they're leftovers, but we're going to use them for this. We're going to be using a variety of shreddies, some standard old eggs, and of course some round sausages. And what we'll do is we'll put these sausages into a cast iron pan and put them in the oven and go ahead and bake them. And then we'll also make up our scrambled eggs and we'll put them into the second pan. So let's start off with our sausages. It's pretty easy. We don't even have to grease the pan because the sausages have a lot of oil. So one at a time, place some sausages in your cast iron pan, your favorite cast iron pan, and prepare to put them in the oven and get them going. We're cooking at about 350 degrees, and it's simple as placing the pan in the oven and letting them cook. Next, we're going to prepare our egg mix. So we're actually going to preheat that pan just a little bit, and we're going to melt some ghee in it so that we can cook our eggs with it. Ghee is essentially butter with most of the protein removed to prevent it from burning. So ghee makes for an excellent egg cooking oil. And ghee goes in the pan. The pan is on a medium heat to heat it up. And the ghee melts in the pan and we'll coat the bottom and the sides and get ready for the eggs. The eggs will be mixed, put in this pan, and then put in the oven with the sausages to cook. So that's the next thing we're doing, is we're gonna put the pan in the oven and preheat it. And it's going up to 350. Next, we're gonna make our egg mix, and we start with shredded cheese. In this case, we're using a variety of different cheeses. I like the 4-cheese Mexican cheese. So just put it into our mixing bowl and add a small amount of milk. You can also use cream if you like heavy whipping cream. It'll work too. This is whole milk. It's not light milk. And then we're going to add eggs, and we're going to add the same number of eggs as we have pieces of sausage, so that essentially you get 1 egg per sausage and per biscuit. So pretty standard. We'll just add our eggs and prepare to mix them up. I'm also going to be adding to these eggs, so we've got cheese, we've got milk and eggs, and now I'm going to add both chopped up onions and some peppers. These are not green peppers, but they're bell peppers. And we're essentially going to take a fork and mix them up evenly and consistently. Oh, let's not forget the salt. Also, if you like pepper in your eggs, this is a great time to add pepper. Because it's sausage, I didn't add extra pepper, but we take our preheated pan, we put our scrambled egg mix in it, and we put that scrambled egg mix into the oven with the sausages. We'll take out the sausages at this point, and they'll need to be flipped because the bottoms will have cooked, because the pan's going to be a little bit hotter than the top surface. So we just flip our sausages and return them back to the oven, where they will be happily cooking away. Again, we're at about 350 degrees. Now, while the eggs and the sausages are cooking, we're going to take our biscuits and cut them in halves. And these are fairly thin biscuits, but for this meal, that's perfect. So just take a sharp knife and carefully cut the biscuits right down the center. And we'll repeat this for the same number of sausages that we have cooking. And when we get done with this, then we'll be ready for the eggs and the sausages. So, got our biscuits cut up and put out of the way, and we pulled our sausages out. And we're going to look at our egg mix. And our eggs are looking pretty good. Nice thing about cooking them in the oven like this is that it cooks on both sides, both on the pan and on the top of the eggs. And all we have to do is go around and separate the eggs, make sure it's loose from the pan first, using just a standard flipper. This is a long plastic flipper, but it works. And then our cookie cutter. And we're simply going to go around the eggs and cut the egg circles free of the eggs. And these will be put right onto our biscuits. We'll break the eggs free from each other and from the egg material around them and make sure that they're free from the pan before we start making our biscuits. So now we've got our egg mix and our biscuits cut and our sausages. So one at a time, we will take a biscuit and we'll open it up. And with the flipper, we simply take out an egg round, apply it to the biscuit, get a sausage, put it on top, and whatever other condiment you like. If you want mayonnaise, mustard, a little more salt and pepper, it's up to you. But it's basically lather, rinse, repeat. Take your cut open sausages, add the egg, add the sausage, and then you're done. And your sausage egg biscuits are now ready to serve and share with your friends. It's a pretty simple menu. I hope you've enjoyed this video. And if you have, I encourage you to, if you've made it this far in particular, I encourage you to subscribe to the channel. It really helps us grow the channel. And if you'll hit the thumbs up if you like it, thumbs down if you don't. And also, hit that little bell indicator and you'll get a notice the next time on your YouTube when we produce another video. And there you have it, some delicious looking biscuit, sausage, and eggs. Again, this is Cast Iron Cooking, and I'm your host, Belkin Vanderspuds. I appreciate you coming by, and hopefully we'll see you again in another video.